All right, and we are back. We are hearing some exposition from Weekly.
Puppet master is a surgeon named Mitchell, a man who happened to fight in the war with Dunn, right?
It might just be a false lead, but...
Maybe, but it could be no more than a false lead.
Anyway, where was I? Number 3, right? 3, since Dunn was on his trail, Mitchell, or whomever, hired an anteater to get rid of him. Then, since you were also shaking the wasp's nest, he went after you. But the anteater made a mistake, and Mitchell, or whomever, killed him to cover his own tracks. And, wait, 4, the key to all this lies with a common friend of Dunn's and Mitchell's, Craig Spenow. Do you really trust him?
No, I think he's telling the truth.
I think he didn't lie to us. Although he might not know the whole truth.
4. No, I mean 5. Dunn was murdered 4 days after taking Speno to his house.
He
If
might be
that doesn't make him
dyscalculate.
suspect. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it could make sense.
Ha! Who's the detective now? Let's follow up with the suspects. You told Smirnoff that even though you're sure Yale is innocent, you think he's hiding something. But what about O'Leary? 6.
Someone ordered Randall to commit the murders. During the war, Don and his pals were known as the Olympic Five. O'Leary personally kills anyone who threatens his family or business. O'Leary's shoes don't match the gym. Can I compare that? Okay, I was like, does that prove that he absolutely didn't do it? One of Don's brothers in arms tried to pass as his doctor. Yale's shoes don't match the footprints, and Mary has been at Yale's place. I don't remember this one. It's got to be this one, surely.
O'Leary wouldn't have sent Randall to kill Dunn. He would have dragged him to his basement, given him his little speech, and then killed him himself. Nah, I know O'Leary, and he wouldn't have sent a hitman. He would have taken matters into his own hands.
What about Cassidy? 7, right?
The Walrus. Cassidy acts recklessly, and whoever planned it was very meticulous. Where were we? Here we are. It was carefully planned out.
I think it's safe to rule out Cassidy as Dunn's murderer. He seems too impulsive to have planned such a twisted crime. Whoever planned the whole thing knew the suicide theory would fall through, so he manipulated the clues to incriminate Yale. Cassidy is too impulsive to pull off such an intricate plan.
So, even if you have your doubts, Mitchell is the one pulling the strings. And you know why? Because in novels, the murderer is always someone the detective knows from the beginning.
Well, that could be the case in British novels. You know, where everyone in the mansion where the murder took place is a suspect. But this might just be an American whodunit, where the detective doesn't even meet the culprit until the last scene.
You mean we still don't know who's pulling the strings?
I didn't say
be.
that. How did it go with Helen Moore?
I didn't get anything, even though it started out really well. I asked to interview her along with her boyfriend, Al Stone. Since I'm a big shot, they were happy to oblige.
No.
Perfect. Now, time for the interview. I'll go back and forth so you don't get bored. So, who goes first?
Start with Al.
Here's a question for Al.
What do you think about needing a manager?
Your manager is Frank Cassidy, president of the Boxing Managers Association of New York. According to him, only boxers working with member managers should be allowed to compete. What do you think about that?
We never talk politics, honey. Athletes should steer clear of controversy and stay focused on their sport. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, now.
We'll ask her a question.
Here's one for Helen.
Do you ever think your boyfriend will get hurt by
Dating a
being
boxer can be dangerous. Aren't you afraid that those blows to the head will take a toll on his intellectual capacity?
Honey, take a look at my man and then look at yourself. You really think I'm with him because of his intellectual capacity?
Helen!
Write this down. Nothing will change my man. His smarts, manliness, and integrity are all boxing proof.
Moving on.
What about both of them?
Here's one for both of you.
What do you think about sports on TV? Or marriage and children? Well, let's ask about TV.
What do you think about sports on television? Is it good for business, or will it make it all more for the masses?
More for the masses, for sure, but also more fair. Ever since television came along, there's no place for corrupt athletes or rigged games. In the old days, athletes succumbed to corruption scandals because they didn't make enough money. Because no matter how large a stadium is, space is limited. But thanks to TV and advertising, my generation has put an end to corruption.
Now that's a headline. Now what?
Should probably take a picture, eh?
Time for a picture.
How should we pose?
Lovebirds? Nah, we got that from, well,
Show me your weapons.
nah.
The fist against the racket.
Now this was the entirely pointless. I hated this little mini game, especially because you needed to put the center in odd places often. Like, to me,
That's it. Perfect. Okay, one more question. And
Al, honey, can you answer it? I've got to go say hi to a fan. I'll be right back, Mr. Pulitzer.
Wait. You mean she stopped smiling when that fan showed up?
yeah.
Could you describe him for me?
I'll be able to show you something as soon as I'm done developing these pictures. And actually, I thought it was odd too. So while I continued to interview Stone, I managed to take some pictures of Moore and whoever her mysterious fan was.
So unless someone breaks in and interrupts us right now.
All right, so where were we?
What about your upcoming fight?
In just 12 days, the contender will try to steal your belt. Any thoughts on your fight against Yale?
Well, supposedly the odds are in my favor, but there's no such thing as a weak rival. And, you know, Bobby Yale might be young and going through a rough patch, but he's had an amazing streak, so I'll do my best.
He seems very humble. Let's take a photo.
Let's get that picture taken.
The thinker? Raise your head.
Okay, now raise your head and your arms up like you were celebrating a victory.
Like this?
Exactly. Wait, I accidentally moved. Stand still. I'll take another one.
And then whilst she's doing that, we go take
What's with me today?
a photo
Don't move,
of that
please.
naughtiness.
Now we got it. Should we keep at it?
What do you... No, we already asked about the manager. So what about sharing your...
Are you ever jealous
Your girl.
about sharing your sweetheart with America?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm jealous, but I know that someone so popular and honest can draw the wrong kind of attention. There are plenty of people who would love to put an end to her career, so it's not easy.
I'm gonna take one more, all right?
I don't get why he would agree with this. But
Turn around and show me those biceps from behind.
Like that?
That's it. What's up with me? Stand still. I'll take it again. I can't seem to get it
it's
right.
someone from La Iguana.
Don't move. It's about time. Finally, we're all set.
Wait. So, are you telling me the photos are developed? Or is that what you said to Stone?
Both. Just look.
Well, start at the left.
That's a decent picture, but it doesn't tell the truth.
Huh? Of course it's the truth. I was there.
Stone isn't as strong as he looks, and Moore certainly doesn't need him to lift her up.
Har, har, har.
Look at his hand. Is he pulling something out of Moore's purse? Or putting it in?
He was putting it in.
How much do you think each
Just
bicep
like
weighs?
Stone.
A lot. But less than your tongue.
You're hilarious.
Who's that guy?
I know he's not a fan. You should have seen her face when she saw him.
Can I zoom in? No, he's blurry. Okay.
How the hell did you make them pose like that? They're lovers, not sworn enemies.
I don't know. I was focused on my detective skills. You know, I thought he'd be cocky, but he didn't seem too convinced about beating Yale.
It makes sense. O'Leary's rigged the fight. Stone has to lose. I think she only smokes when she's nervous. What was making her nervous?
I can see it. It's definitely a lizard in this one.
I think she only smokes when she's nervous. What was making her nervous?
Yeah. And then there's nothing else, so... Unless there's something outside our regular field of view that I've been missing. Oh. Aha! That looks like a kangaroo. Or maybe a wallaby. Anyway. Can I not leave this area? Oh. Do I zoom in on the La Iguana?
I've seen that matchbox before.
And it's the doctor.
Wait, that's him.
Who?
Mitchell, the surgeon.
Seriously? We got him.
Not yet.
Right. We still have to find him. Hey, pal. Did you hear what I just said? We need to keep looking at all those pictures. We need a clue that'll take us to Mitchell. Hey, see? There. Just like I was saying.
We can work out new things. Oh, this cutscene's really long. And last time when I was playing through here, the game had a whole bunch of crashes. Which was not fun.
Brawls aren't even the worst part of my job. Sure, you may take a beating, but at least you get the chance to defend yourself. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff. Your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive.
If you'd be repetitive, you're doing it night after night.
People were finally leaving the place. The bar was about to close. and I hadn't seen Mitchell go in or out. I had no choice.
I see you took me up on my invitation. And you're smart. You knew not to come until my anti-fur regulars had all cleared out.
I can't say no to good advice.
Or good bourbon. Here's looking at you, Mr. What was your name?
As far as I knew, La Iguana always stayed neutral. He played poker with Cassidy, but his joint was used as a gambling drop-off for O'Leary's operation. Did it make sense to keep faking it? Or was it too dangerous not to?
No, I think I'll be me.
Blackmore. John H. Blackmore.
I knew it. Although your Texan isn't half bad.
Let's just say I represent certain sports lobbies I'd rather not talk about.
I understand. My pleasure, Mr. Blackmore. You're natural. You're even better at pool than poker.
This is much easier. No one can cheat.
You barely flinched when Cassidy decided to teach that ego a lesson.
What do you want me to say?
I would have done it myself, the bastard.
If Cassidy hadn't ordered his barber to kill that man, I would have done it myself. Some people just don't deserve to live. Damn it.
Well, nobody's perfect. Tell me, what do you really want with Cassidy? I just don't understand your motives.
Ooh, do I say? I'll say we're scouting out
You know
talent.
how a scout goes out to Little League games in search of young talent?
'Cause we think he's
Well, that's what
neutral.
I was doing at your poker game. But it's too soon to tell.
Don't worry about it. I was
Neutral
only curious.
Or aligned with O'Leary, but not against O'Leary.
What about me? What do you want from me? No one comes to La Iguana just to drink and play pool.
I'm looking for one of your regulars, Dr. Angus Mitchell.
What for?
No, I think I'll go with I want to partner up with him.
I know he's got his own sport business, and I think a partnership could benefit us both.
Sure. Tell you what, I'll talk to Mitchell. Come back tomorrow night.
You don't understand. I have to talk to him, or else.
Or else what?
Tell Cassidy you work for O'Leary, which we know he kind of does.
I don't think Cassidy would be too happy about the role his poker buddy plays in O'Leary's gambling operation. I'm sure you understand that.
Son of a bitch. All right. Give me your phone number, and I'll give you a call when Mitchell shows up.
No. You're gonna call him right now, and you're gonna give him this message. But when you're sitting in your car all night, there's no way out. Your legs cramp up, your back and neck feel stiff, your entire body aches to be somewhere else. It's boring and repetitive. It's so bad that your thoughts spiral in a never-ending loop. Like when you're stuck in your car, on surveillance duty. The owner of La Iguana was supposed to tell Mitchell that a certain anteater was still alive, and that it was only a matter of time before he ratted him out. With a bit of luck, that would make him nervous enough to force his hand. Now all I had to do was follow him.
And we'll call it an episode there. Peace.